Hey y'all, long time no see. Not really, it's been like 5 days. But I am going home for spring break tomorrow. It's a 5-hour drive home, so I'm going right after my last class of the day. And so I have to pack. But while I pack, I wanted to talk to you guys. Basically, it's getting warmer here, which you can't tell from my big sweater because today is freezing. Today's like 30 degrees. I don't know what happened. I think this is just a one-off, and from now on it's just gonna get warmer and warmer. So I have to bring back all of my winter clothes because I have a ton of sweaters. Hold up, let me show you. Okay, so the majority of the stuff I'm going to be packing into this bag, which I got as a graduation gift from my dad's aunt and uncle, which is very nice. I've used it for every trip home, and it's got like a decent amount of space. So I'm going to shove this as full as I can, and then I also have a big suitcase from when I went home like a couple weeks ago. What I wanted to talk about in this video a little bit is the idea of like paywalled friendships, and those come in like a lot of different forms. So I have some thoughts on it, and I didn't write it down because, sorry, like I'm too tired to do like my actual schoolwork right now because I'm so ready for spring break. Do you really think I'm gonna do extra work? This whole YouTube channel is just kind of my creative writing project, and I don't feel like coming up with a really well-structured, thought-out essay. So I'm just gonna kind of rant to you. I think it is such a shame that almost every nice thing you can do for your friends now is paywalled. Uber is great for some things, but it did kind of add this transactional feeling to like, oh, can you just take me to the airport? Like, it feels like a huge ask now because you could pay someone else to do it. Same with like movers. And movers and the Uber can be great if you're moving to like a new city where you don't know anyone, or you're on like a business trip or something. It feels like if I was like moving into an apartment and I was like, hey guys, can you just like help me move? It would feel like this big ask, even though people used to do that all the time. And you could pay them in pizza or whatever, and I have good friends that I think would still do that, but it's hard not to be like, well, you can just pay someone else to do it. I think the very worst of this comes with the whole idea of like never rant to your friends, never vent to them ever, like they're not your therapist. That is crazy to me. The idea of like, oh, you need to pay someone hundreds of dollars an hour just to listen to you talk is wild. And therapy is good. I'm not saying therapy is bad. I just think a lot of people who go to therapy shouldn't. But therapists who either like overly validate their clients, or people who go to therapy, learn the vocabulary, and then go out into the real world and cause chaos for everyone else. You know what I mean? People who learn about emotional intelligence and boundaries. There's nothing wrong with boundaries. I think they're good to set. It's good to set boundaries in relationships. Although I also think if you're with someone who you constantly have to reinforce your boundaries, maybe you guys just aren't the right fit. But people will take that idea of like boundaries and use that to be like, don't you dare ever rant to me. Like, we should only be low maintenance friends. And if you have any problems, you need to take it to a mental health professional who once again can cost hundreds of dollars a month, or not be covered by your insurance, or maybe your parents don't believe in therapy so you can't go. Like, there are so many reasons why people wouldn't be in therapy. Also, it just doesn't work for everyone. I've been in therapy multiple times in my life, and I had a really hard time with not lying to my therapist to make her feel better. I would have this happen where she would give me strategies, and either I wouldn't do them or they wouldn't work, and then I would just lie and tell her things were getting better because I didn't want to disappoint her, which is a personal failing. I'm not blaming her. I think if therapy isn't for you, there's other ways of getting that same like itch scratched. I think you need to do something therapeutic, even if it isn't therapy. For me, music is that. Playing music with other people is a very effective form of therapy for me. I finished with sweaters, now I'm moving on to long sleeve shirts. I'm gonna keep some of these, but I don't need all of them. So yeah, going back to what I was talking about, I just think the idea that you cannot lend a hand to your friend without getting paid money is so crazy. And then people are shocked when they're lonely, and it's like, yeah, because you don't partake in friendships, you know? Even people be like, well, you know, it's not good if someone being upset will emotionally affect you. And yeah, if it affects you in a really extreme way, like people talk about trauma dumping, and trauma dumping is when you unload extreme serious stuff, usually to people you don't know very well, and that can have a pretty serious negative effect, and that's not good. But honestly, like, I have had times where my friends will tell me things they're upset about and it will affect me. If my friend goes through a breakup, I'm normally sad for like a day about it, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I think that's okay. It just rubs me the wrong way that people are so willing to shun their friends for being honest with them. Okay, I kind of want to keep one of these turtlenecks. I'm gonna keep this one. I just think it's very sad. A big part of this, and the reason why I think this conversation has gotten so prevalent, because I'm not the only person talking about this, is the onset of like AI chatbots and friends and stuff, people who talk to their AI like their friends. That haven't, I heard one of my friends say something like that, where she's like, oh my gosh, like, my AI knows me so well. And I saw this like unhinged, I'll find it because I think I posted on my story, this like unhinged edit of like what I imagine ChatGPT looks like. It's like a hot boy with curly hair and glasses, and it's like, we have lost the plot. I think some of it's a joke. Like, I don't think people are actually seriously in love with, actually I'm not gonna say that because they probably are, there's a really good chance of it, but you know, most people, that's not the level they're at. But like the idea of like, oh no, I would rather talk to a robot, not even a robot, like I would rather talk to a search engine about my problems than like an actual person, is so damaging. And it comes from a place of necessity. Normally people feel like they have no one to talk to, so a robot's better than nothing, which I get, but like, it just is very scary to me. I also think situationships tie into this. I know that they're not literally paywalled, but like a good reason why people don't want to commit to relationships these days is because they're like expensive, or at least time consuming, and no one wants to give up their time. There's a great video about it. I'll play a little clip of it, but you really should go watch the whole thing.
Relationships, now untangled from the structures of family, religion and community, have become unstable, precarious side hustles, 30-day trial periods that you can cancel without commitment, mirroring the volatility of the labour market, rental arrangements, meal kits, Airbnbs and wherever you get your podcasts from.
When any time not spent making money feels wasted, when there's so many ways to make passive income or all that stuff, real relationships feel like this insane level of commitment that like nobody wants to agree to, even when it's not that big of a deal. So it's better to just kind of sit there forever. You'd feel horribly betrayed if someone you were in a situationship with went on a date with someone else, probably, but you're not going to do anything about it because that would ruin your little illusion that all of this is not a big deal. I really hope we can start moving away from it. I think we are. I feel like a lot of people are talking about how stupid situationships are and how, you know, it's good to just do things for people just for fun. But it does feel like everything is commodified. Because, I mean, I feel that too when I went to college, like, being like, okay, I could hang out with this person or this person, and I can either deepen this relationship or open the possibility up of like starting a new relationship because I'm meeting all these people. And you start to be like, is it worth, like, have I sunk too much time into this person? And then, I mean, there'll be people that you don't really like, but you just hang out with because they feel like they have connections, not in a like cynical money making way, but more in a, you have friends I want to be friends with. Here are virtually all the books I've either brought with me to college or have gotten since coming here, except for some I've already brought home over winter break. But a couple of these I brought for people because they said they wanted to read my books and then did not read my books. But then the other ones, like this one was a gift. Thanks, man. This one my mom gave me. A couple of these I bought. There's a great used bookstore where I live, so I got this like great poetry collection there. This book. As much as I like having them here, I don't think I'm going to reread them, at least not. If I have the urge, I can look it up or something because it'll be a pain to bring it back. So let's see how many I can fit in here. Okay, this is what I got. It's like all of my sweaters, all my long sleeve shirts I want to bring back, a couple of books, and then like winter stuff. Like this is a scarf. These are like warmer stuff that I won't need for layering in the spring. I'm gonna leave all my PJs because I'm assuming I have PJs back home, but I can't remember. Okay, I'm back. I hate doing my laundry in the dorms. It's such a pain in the butt. Not only do people like not pick up their stuff, this dress is so ugly. Not only do people not pick up their clothes when they need to, and you know, or they like move mine when it's been sitting there for 2 extra minutes or something, but also like it just takes up so much time where you can't like fully relax because you still have to be like, you know, ready to be outside and see people, but you also can't be like doing anything important because you're gonna get interrupted any second, which is really annoying. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. I don't know, I just think it's really interesting and I really hope something gets fixed soon, but it feels like we're going in the wrong direction because everything is getting more expensive due to factors. It's also just a scary time to be alive, so you know, you don't really know who you can trust, and it feels very scary opening up to people. So because of that, people are more willing to just not do anything at all. I just think it's very silly to act like you're better than everyone because you shut yourself off from the world and don't speak to anyone. And that's not being introverted. I think I'm a relatively introverted person. I've gotten more extroverted since going to college, but I'm still like, you know, I like being by myself and chilling, and you know, sometimes I'll even pick that over hanging out with people. But I think there's something else going on. I think being surrounded by a variety of people is kind of amazing. We've never had access to so many people before, and that's great, but it definitely has come back to bite us where every option feels like not the right one because saying yes to one thing feels like saying no to a billion other things. Still though, I think it's good to have a varied friend group if you can, and I think it's a shame when people decide they don't need that. I'm sure we've all had a friend who gets a boyfriend or something and instantly just disappears from your view. It's just like they never existed. And then sometimes that relationship crumbles and they come crawling back. And, you know, I usually will be willing to let them back in, but it does feel a little bit like I got dropped at like the first sign of a boy who liked you when like I've been here this whole time. I've said this before, but being the only single person in your friend group, or even just one of the only people in your friend group, kind of feels like you're at a party and you're the only sober one, where you're like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what do you mean? What are you saying? And it can be kind of funny and cute at times, but a lot of it, you're just like, what is going on? And like, they say weird things to you and can't seem to explain themselves for things where you're like, what? And things that seem important to you aren't important to them, or things that seem insignificant are important to them. They talk all day about icks and green flags and attachment styles, and it's just like, what are we on about? And again, I'm not gonna judge too harshly. I've never really been in a long-term relationship, and even if I had, I feel like, you know, who knows? If it works for them, then that's great. But I can't help but get worried when I see people I know start to disappear into relationships. It feels very unhealthy, especially at this age. We're so young. There's so many experiences you can have outside of that. Why would you want to limit yourself? You know what I mean? Okay, I've put all of the purses and stuff I don't want into this big bag to put that away, which will make it easier. I should pose for the thumbnail. Never really done that before, except for in the CDs one. That was like my best video yet. People are gonna be so disappointed though when they click on this. It's gonna be like 5 minutes of talking about what I said I was gonna talk about, and then 10 minutes of just kind of vibing. Okay, I thought I was done, but I just realized I didn't pack any shoes. I also remembered I have a bunch of jackets I gotta take back. I've shoved as much as I can into this suitcase. It looks like this right now, so it's not really gonna fit. But I don't know. I'm just gonna shove it, and then all my clothes, or all my shoes are in a tote bag that I'm gonna take with me. Outro, I don't think, for that video. So this is me doing that. I'm on my way home right now. It's Friday. I'm driving back. I'm about halfway through my drive. It's a lot longer because I guess there's some like wildfires in areas I normally drive through, so I have to go a different way. But honestly, I love the way I'm going. It's been like really beautiful, and full of trees and stuff. So I just wanted to wrap this up. Say thanks for watching. I know this wasn't super informative, but I hope it was cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do for next week's video, but it'll definitely be something kind of laid back because I'm in town and I just want to kind of chill. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you later.